Conservatives love nothing more than tearing apart the college admissions process when it's centered around race or sexuality. They said picking students, letting them into Harvard or Yale because of race were unfair. Everything, they said, should be about merit. Fair enough. New filings in a major lawsuit says it's just as unfair to give rich kids the same kinds of preferences. From the Wall Street Journal, elite universities often present themselves as meritocracies that admit the best and the brightest. The motion filed Tuesday draws from years of speeches at exclusive gatherings, depositions, and internal university reports, shows officials bowing to financial pressures to admit wealthy students over potentially more qualified candidates. With us now, Batya, Ungar-Sargon, opinion editor, Newsweek, author of Second Class, How the Elites Betrayed America's Working Men and Women. What if we change this from meritocracy to discrimination based on class versus based on race? Does it make it any better?
Oh gosh, of course not. I mean, this is why Americans have totally lost faith, not just in our institutions of higher learning, but in the educational system writ large, in expertise of all kinds, whether it's in the economic sector, whether it's medical expertise, whether it's foreign policy expertise, because the institutions that confer these credentials on people, supposedly making them experts, are nothing more than, status machines. They are the places where the elites, the wealthy, quite literally go to get this sort of patina of intelligence and merit, when the truth is they've bought their way in. And this is so apparent to anybody, first of all, who's been to these institutions, but also anybody who's been subjected to the so-called expertise of our elites today. They are not meritorious. They are not intelligent. They are not smart. They are not educated. What they have done is paid $120,000 or $1 million, right? If, as the case may be, if they're a big donor, in order to get their children to look like they are the best and the brightest. So, the fiction of meritocracy has been quite exposed here. But I would go even further, Leland. I would say even if they were so unbelievably intelligent and smarter than everybody else and better at passing tests, that should not mean that they get the right to tell the American people what to think, what to value, what kinds of expertise.
Okay, there's a lot here to unpack here, right, though? Are we to say now that the government should enforce on private institutions, private colleges, private universities, how their admission systems are to be done?
I mean, there's no category, right, of discrimination that says you cannot give preferential treatment. It's not a class. To come from a wealthy family is not a class, right? To come from lower class family is not a class. I don't think so. I don't think what we need here is sort of more leftist elites, enforcing the rules that they come up with, which is effectively what's going to happen. What we need is for America to do what it is currently doing, which is to say we no longer respect people who come from these institutions. That piece of paper that you paid $120,000 for makes me respect you less. This has to happen in the hearts and minds of the American people, and it already is, which is why I think it's working.
No, I think it definitely is already happening. And George Will, who is about as credentialed, I think, as you could imagine, I would argue he's earned it. But in our previous segment, he talked about the diploma divide, right? The divide in America isn't a racial divide. It's a class divide. It's what you wrote about in the book Second Class, which brings us, I think you said, to the loss of confidence in college. It's stunning to see those numbers fixed. GOP lost confidence in college. In 2015, 56% had high confidence. And now in 2024, it's only 20%. Now 50% have little or no confidence. And no confidence in expertise, right? No confidence in credentials probably brings us to where we are right now. This is the spending bill. We've showed it around that died. It's called a continuing resolution. It is 1,547 pages worth of pork to spend money we don't have and do lots of other things. But members of the Republican Party for years, decades, have been trying to kill continuing resolutions. They are like cockroaches in Washington. They are impossible to kill. And Elon Musk, who has not been elected to anything, did it in less than 12 hours. It's pretty remarkable what's happening here In Washington.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.